Hey guys, Dave Norona, and it's time to get ready for the 2023 sled season. And I'm super excited to show one of my favorite pieces of gear, and that's the Klim Aspect 16-liter pack with the Alpride Avy Safety System inside of it. This pack I've been running for over 2 years. I absolutely love it, and it's got some updated changes for 2023 that I'm really excited to show you. Now, first off, we're going to go through the pack pretty fast because I've gone over it before in lots of videos. So you'll notice with the pack here at the back, it's got one body pack at the back, and that can house your toolkit, which comes with the pack itself. I keep my tools on my sled, so I use that a different way, but it's got a great key holder here. I actually keep my spare Skidoo key right here, but it has a lot of packs for separation and carry lots of stuff. In the middle of the pack, it has, with removing these two buckles, has your Avy gear right here, your shovel and your probe. It also, they've done a great job of giving you your 911 rescue scenarios that under duress you might forget, but it's a great reminder there. And they've used red zippers to sort of let you know that that's the safety area. Right up top on the back here, of course, we've got our hard shell goggle pocket, which works really, really well. And then the main body of the pack that we're going to open right here is very cool with this other buckle undone. It opens completely like a clamshell. Now, I'm going to show you here the all-new E2 system from Alpride. So this is a super capacitor unit, and to turn it on, all you're going to do is pull this orange button out, and you're going to hold it out, and it runs through its circuit. Now on the LED screen here, it lets you know your battery life. Also, if you had 2 AA's into the battery area, which I'll talk about in a moment. And it also houses this LED light that you can see on the side here. So it's showing green right now. If it shows yellow, that means it needs a charge. Obviously, if it's red, it needs a charge. And green, you're good to go. This also shines through the side of the pack, so you can ask somebody in the morning, after you turn it on, make sure that you're flashing green so someone can check that. It's also got a micro USB for charging it. And then it also has a spot here for 2 AA batteries, and if we insert them into the pack right here, we'll see that, and close it up, it'll actually let us know how those batteries are doing. So what we're going to talk about is how this system actually works. So that when you charge the system, you're charging the super capacitor, and it can hold a charge. I've gone 3 days without having to charge it. I think it will do more than that. And you get 1 charge out to blow off your airbag. If you do blow off your airbag, you can charge it with that micro USB at home or in your car via a cigarette lighter, or you can add those 2 AA batteries. Now, those 2 AA batteries do not fire off the airbag. They just charge the super capacitor back up to full charge. So I'll give you a great example. Last year I was riding. I got stuck really bad in super deep snow by myself in the trees, and I was trying to get through this tight tree, and in doing that, I accidentally hooked the airbag handle on my handlebar and set off the pack. So kind of a double whammy. I'm fully stuck, and my airbag is kind of stuck up into the trees. So what I did was I took my pack off, turned it off, I carry 2 batteries, but there were batteries in there, so those batteries started to charge the pack. Well, I let the air out of the airbag, folded it all back, and then set my bag down on the snow. And then I went to work on getting my sled out, digging, and whatever. It probably took me 35-40 minutes. And in that time, when I turned my pack back on, the batteries had charged the supercapacitor right back up to full charge, so I was green and ready to go again, and therefore I could actually set off my avalanche backpack. So the batteries in here are supposed to give you an autonomous life of 3 months, but I always actually carry 2 extra AA's in case, the worst case scenario is my pack, I got to the hill, my pack was yellow and I had to charge it. Those batteries weren't working, I put 2 more in, I'm good to go, I've covered myself with actually not having to carry a lot of stuff. And this whole system is just much smaller and lighter. One of the amazing things about this pack you're going to notice is how light it actually is. So we've turned it on and it's live now, and all we do is zip this area back up, close the clamshell up like so, and then these two outside buckles, and I don't know if you can see that with the camera here, whether that you can see that flashing green light going off. Again, that's how you can have your buddy check, or you can check throughout the day that the pack is green and working. To put on the pack, it's pretty simple. One thing I absolutely love is this front chest area. So it's a zipper that zips up, a flap that comes over so it protects that zipper so it's not going to get frozen, and a big buckle here that's really helpful when you get a lot of ice and snow and warmth and cold. I've never had this freeze up, so that's really, really important. And I live in Whistler where we get a lot of, we're already in a warm climate, but then it's lots of deep snow and we're getting very warm and then it's freezing. So it's always never let me down in that case. And then of course your waist strap, and what they've done really well is it's so easy, is they run the crotch strap right up through the middle, so it's really easy to grab, and make sure that you always have that on. And then the buckle through here, and we're set up. And of course you can adjust these straps really easy to make sure that the pack fits you perfect. It's not going to get, your helmet's not going to hit it, and actually sits really nice on my body, gives some protection as well in this front area. As you can see, my Baofeng radio sits right here, run through under the airbag, and it runs into my pack. So it's a very, very neat system. So when I'm out sledding, this is how I would get to the hill, and as I work my way up the hill, I actually pull the handle of the airbag out. So now it's there. The other thing I love about this pack is that I can set it off with either hand. And that's really important. There's a lot of, back in the day it was like, oh, I want to have this hand so I can throttle out of an avalanche. It's kind of a pipe dream, not to say that it can't happen, but really the important thing to remember with an avalanche pack, and one of the great things about this pack, is you want to test it as much as possible. And you can do that the night before you go riding, charge it, and it's good to go. You can do that multiple times every time you go out riding. The more you set it off, the more prone you are to set it off when you really need to, because it's going to be in an emergency situation. So what I always remind people, if you are riding and you feel anything unusual, whoomphing, whatever, pull your airbag. Because what happens if you don't pull it, something might happen that may push you off the sled, push you into something where then you won't be able to push it. So the moment that you push it, and if you do pull the airbag and you ride out of it, or it wasn't that big, chalk that up to you're okay and you did everything right, and probably time to go home if you're getting caught in things like that and you might not be using the best sense that day. Time to head to the truck and maybe go to the bar and enjoy a beer with your friends. So that's a really simple look at the airbag. And one thing I'm going to talk about before I set off the bag is, one of the things you should do whenever you get a new airbag pack is you can actually open the pack up and see how your airbag's packed in there. So when it comes from the factory, it's packed perfectly. You can open it up and see how they fold it and where the folds are. And you can also do that when you come home, say from a day that was rainy at the bottom. Water might have seeped into your pack. Therefore, you can take it out, just hang it in your garage where it's going to heat, fold it back in, it's ready to go for the next time. And that's another way to store it in a dry place where there's not going to be moisture left in between the airbags. So having that out, making sure that it's working properly and that it looks good, is really part of owning an airbag as well. If you do ever get caught in a slide like we're talking about, whether you're sledding or sled skiing for myself, you're just going to pull this off. I'll do a little spin here and you can see how quickly the airbag pack goes off, providing 150 liters. And as you can see, I can still ski or ride out of it when I have the pack on, which in my mind is very, very important. And all this does is inverse segregation for the fancy word, but really makes you a bigger thing that's floatier, and bigger things tend to ride on top of an avalanche and smaller things go to the bottom. So that's the whole idea behind this Klim Aspect 16 with the Alpride E2 system. So that gives you a little bit about the pack, the things I absolutely love about it. This is the #1 thing I trust on my back all the time. And whether I'm skiing or sledding or touring, you can also check out the Atlas 26 liter, which has the same E2 system in it. The pack is 26 liters over 16, and we're going to do a video in the future to showcase the differences between the pack and something that you may look for your needs. Now all we have to do is there's a small push button on the inside of the E2 supercapacitor. Let the air out, fold that airbag back, and put the zipper back on, and again, charge it whether we're using a micro USB at home or in the hotel that night, whether we're using one on our cigarette lighter in our car, or whether we've used those AA's and let it charge that way. So super easy to use and a great functional pack to wear no matter what the snow conditions are. Of course, you can check it out at klim.com, and we'll see you out in the mountains.